labor, and the expression of worth. Here's a comment I got recently on one of my videos. We can assume a guy named Jesus existed, but can we really accept the miracles? If it lived in a higher plane of existence, then I can accept what we would call a miracle, but it could be explained by science. But to call it religion and follow a book that was written by men, interpreted by men, then that's the harder pill to swallow. I never try to convince anyone to believe what I believe, but I do share my experience, strength, and hope. And so here I go. This might help. Think about stories from a biological perspective. Story is hardwired into our DNA. It's not our responsibility, nor is it possible to deny our storytelling nature. However, as the Buddhists say, unconscious identification with our stories is the same as suffering. We read novels and we watch movies, knowing that they are not real, but we believe in them. We give them large amounts of attention. We are storytelling creatures. Our lives are affected profoundly by stories. We don't have to be devoted students of Carl Jung to benefit from the depth work that he did. He suggested that we must do our work with the stories and their characters, and we must discover those archetypal struggles within ourselves. This is one way we may understand the Spirit of Christ to be alive in us. And also, we may understand our personal struggles in the context of the great human struggle to overcome our difficulties in love. That is just one way to begin to describe the rational assent to what we call belief. In that rational yet poetic framework, we might come to see Jesus as the one who frees us from our own shadow, which we projected onto the Word, God. Jesus said that we have to be willing to die. You see, there I go, talking as if he's real, because he's resonated on such a high frequency that he's literally still speaking to me. We must be absolutely exhausted of this world and our small-mindedness, and then we can experience a rebirth. The Word became flesh and asked us to take a deeper look at ourselves, and that Word is not separate from our internal subjective experience. And it is in this internal inquiry where we discover God. The kingdom of heaven is within. The search for true self is the same as the search for God. Authentic self is the God expression. When we read a novel, we don't insist that others believe it, even though a novel may certainly change our lives forever. But storytelling is the power of the Word. When I read the Gospels in my 20s, they were accompanied by a profoundly liberating internal experience, a liberating spirit. I could not help but associate this liberation experience with the life of Jesus that I read about. I had an internal experience which was instigated by the Word, and that Word came to life as I followed the instructions of the cosmic teacher that we call Jesus. Forgiveness was novel to me. No one had ever conveyed to me the liberating heart of forgiveness until I met that Spirit. The life of Jesus encouraged me to live fully and risk my life. His life encouraged me to grow a family and sacrifice myself for children and spouse and community. I was so desperate and hurting at 22 years old that I allowed my literal mind to be bypassed by the Spirit I discovered in the Gospels. I embraced the power of love through the Gospel stories. We are free to make every inquiry to discover the great warrior in ourselves. No one can take our power, even if they kill us. We are free. Jesus showed us how to hang on a cross without becoming a victim. Red pill, blue pill. Neo. Neo. You are the one.